For housewife Lillian Law, age 74, hailing a taxi from the roadside is not possible these days as fewer taxis are on the roads. The senior citizen does not have or know how to use ride-hailing apps and has no choice but to get a cab from Parkway Parade's taxi stand on her return home from grocery shopping. She takes public transport to get to the mall in Marine Parade as there are no taxi stands near her home in Tanjong Rhu. The authorities recently announced moves as part of a review of the point-to-point transport sector to arrest the decline in Singapore's taxi fleet. Regulations will be adjusted to lower operating costs for operators, including reducing inspection frequency for some newer taxis and extending the statutory lifespan of non-electric cabs from 8 to 10 years. This comes as Singapore's pool of taxis and the proportion of street hail rides have tumbled. Only 12.3% of point-to-point journeys in January 2024 were street hail trips, compared with 22.4% in January 2021. In January 2024, there were 74000 street hail trips daily on average, a fraction of the 527,000 ride-hail journeys. Over the last 1.5 weeks, the Straits Times interviews with 34 taxi passengers showed that those who use street hail services regularly include tourists, seniors, parents with young children, and the price-conscious. Ms. Fung said, "For an old lady like me, how am I supposed to know anything about pressing my phone to get a grab? But it is also not easy to get a taxi these days," she said, adding that it is common to wait at least 15 to 20 minutes for one at a taxi stand during off-peak hours, even in the city area. Calling for a taxi via a taxi hotline or hailing one from the roadside is even harder, as there are fewer cabs on the roads. Ms. Cho, who is between jobs, said child-friendly trips on ride-hailing services are more expensive and harder to get. As for booking rides on Grab Family, Grab's child-friendly service, with an appropriate child seat for her son, she said she needs to wait at least 10 minutes longer and pay at least $10 more than for a taxi trip. The public should raise questions about the effectiveness of regulations aimed at lowering operational costs for taxi or private hire platforms and operators. Why is it important? Without truly understanding the context and the true source of problems, jumping into conclusions and throwing huge sums of money, and having a regulation that does not arrest the problem, could have a ripple effect in creating more severe repercussions that the public has to deal with. We will address this in our next episode in full. Meanwhile, stay tuned by subscribing to our channel. Help us share this insights to our national citizens and regulators by liking and sharing the video link. Write your comments in the page below if you have any. Help us if you may by staying subscribed